Today, I am going to show you how to restore your rotary shaver heads to factory sharp condition for completely free, using something you already have sitting on your bathroom counter right now. Stick with me through the end, because there are 4 specific techniques in this video, and the last one is something I have been doing for 2 years that does what professional sharpening services charge $60 for. I have not bought a replacement shaver head since I started this. Not one. Here is the number that should bother you. Philips Norelco. Replacement heads, the most common rotary shaver on the continent, run between $60 and $80 depending on which model you own. The manufacturer recommends replacing them every 12 months. Stretch that out over 20 years of daily shaving, and you are looking at somewhere between $1,200 and $1,600. Not on the shaver itself. On the consumable blades, the shaver company needs you to keep buying. That replacement schedule does not exist because the steel is genuinely exhausted at 12 months. It exists because the actual problem has never been explained to the person holding the shaver. So here is the actual problem. A rotary blade does not go dull the way a kitchen knife dulls. A kitchen knife loses physical material off its cutting edge. The steel erodes, the geometry collapses, and there is nothing to restore. A rotary shaver blade works on a completely different principle. It is a circular precision-machined cutting disc, micro-toothed along its edge, spinning at high speed against a hardened fixed outer ring. The cutting action is closer to a tiny circular saw than a blade dragging across skin. And what happens over hundreds of hours of use is not material loss. The micro-teeth fold microscopically. Under repeated lateral stress, the tips deflect inward instead of slicing cleanly. The cutting geometry rolls rather than cuts. The shave becomes rough, slow, pulling at the skin. It starts giving you razor burn. You assume the blade is spent. The blade is structurally intact. Every gram of steel that was there on day 1 is still there. The geometry simply needs to be reset, and that is completely solvable at home for free. The first method takes 3 minutes. Standard white toothpaste, not gel, not whitening formula, not activated charcoal or any specialty product. Plain white paste. Apply a small amount to each rotary head. A pea size per head is plenty. Run the shaver at normal operating speed for 90 seconds to 2 full minutes. What is happening inside is the abrasive particles in the paste, calcium carbonate or hydrated silica, depending on the brand, acting as a lapping compound between the spinning micro-tooth disc and the precision-machined fixed ring. Both cutting surfaces are micro-polished simultaneously, and the deflected micro-teeth are realigned back toward their correct cutting geometry. After the run, rinse the heads very thoroughly under warm running water. Allow the assembly to dry completely before reassembling. Trapped moisture accelerates oxidation inside the mechanism. The first shave after this will feel different. Not because of expectation, because the geometry has physically changed, and for anyone already thinking toothpaste will scratch the blade, it will not. Standard white toothpaste abrasive sits at 2 to 3 on the Mohs hardness scale. Rotary shaver blades are hardened stainless steel at around 6. You're polishing harder steel with a softer compound. That is the definition of a safe lapping process. The cutting surfaces handle it without issue every time. The second technique is already built into your shaver and nearly nobody ever uses it. Most Philips and Norelco rotary models include a reverse cycle function, a setting that runs the cutting heads opposite to the normal direction of rotation. It is in your manual, usually mentioned briefly in the cleaning section, and it gets skipped entirely. Running the reverse cycle for 30 to 60 seconds after your normal weekly cleaning session redistributes micro-edge rollover back toward neutral position. It is not a substitute for the full toothpaste restoration. Think of it as maintenance between restorations. On most Philips models, the reverse function is accessed via a long press of the power button while the unit is off. But check your specific manual. 30 seconds per week. 0 cost. Use it. Now here is what is doing the most damage, and it is the last thing anyone suspects. Cleaning spray. The aerosol products made specifically for electric shavers, including Philips' own branded line, contain a blend of alcohol and lubricant. The alcohol disinfects the cutting surfaces, and that part is legitimate. The problem is formulation ratio. Most of these sprays are heavily weighted toward alcohol and lightly weighted toward lubricant. They evaporate fast, clean aggressively, and leave the cutting surfaces running with an inadequate oil film. Steel disc on steel ring, several thousand revolutions per minute, not enough lubrication between them. That friction accelerates micro-edge degradation faster than actual daily shaving does. You are shortening your blade life every single time you clean the shaver. The fix takes 15 seconds. After your cleaning spray, add one drop of clipper oil to each head before closing the unit. Clipper oil is $6 for a bottle that lasts well over a year at that rate. The improvement in how the shaver runs when properly lubricated versus under-lubricated is immediately noticeable in the first pass. Keep a small bottle next to the charger. It adds 15 seconds to your cleaning routine. Here's the upgrade for anyone who wants maximum restoration power. Diamond lapping paste, $7 to $9 online, sometimes less. This is the compound professional knife and blade sharpening services use. Industrial diamond microparticles suspended in a carrier base, engineered for precision metal surface restoration at the microscopic level. Application is identical to the toothpaste method. Small amount to each head, run for 2 minutes, rinse completely and thoroughly. On a blade you have been maintaining regularly, diamond paste delivers an incremental improvement over toothpaste. On a blade that has been run hard and neglected for 2 or 3 years, one you already consider a throwaway, the result is dramatic. Before you discard any old shaver head, run diamond paste on it first. In most cases, you'll get 1 to 2 additional years from blades you had completely written off. One final bonus, and this one surprises nearly every person who hears it: water hardness. The majority of North American municipalities supply hard tap water, water with elevated concentrations of dissolved calcium and magnesium. Every time you rinse that shaver under the tap, trace minerals are deposited on and between the cutting surfaces and inside the mechanism. Over weeks and months, they accumulate into an invisible but real layer of mineral buildup. That buildup creates drag and friction that is completely indistinguishable by feel from a worn blade. Because you cannot see it, and you have no reference for what is missing. The shave just feels slow and rough, and you assume the blade is spent. It is not. It is calcium sitting where clean steel and oil should be. 1 part white vinegar to 3 parts warm water. Submerge the head assembly, soak for 15 minutes, rinse thoroughly, then apply your drop of clipper oil. Do this once a month. The first time you run this on a shaver that has been rinsed with hard water for a year or more, the before and after will genuinely surprise you. So when does a rotary blade actually need to be replaced? 2 real scenarios only. 1, physical mechanism failure, a cracked housing, a broken spring in the floating head assembly, a head that has lost its pivot and wobbles rather than floats. That is structural damage, not blade wear, and replacement is the right call. 2, you have run the complete restoration process, toothpaste method, diamond paste, mineral soak, clipper oil after every clean, and the shave is still rough and pulling through all of it. Genuine steel fatigue exists. It just does not arrive at 12 months on a blade that has been properly maintained. Under the system, most men get 3 to 4 solid years from a set of rotary heads. At $60 to $80 per set, that is the difference between spending $1,200 to $1,600 over 20 years or spending less than $300. On blades, 2 years on the same original heads. Sharpest shave I have had since the day I bought the shaver. I will never go back to the replacement schedule. If this saves you $60, pass it to someone about to spend money they do not need to spend, and I will see you in the next one.